I don't know if it's sad considering that it's been more than a year since I last talked about this show, or the fact that this episode doesn't have anything to do with beach related, but when it comes to Summerpalooza 4 Beach Paradise onwards, I'm gonna try to at least involve episodes that have something to do with swimming. Granted, I understand that there was no beach to be found in this episode, but to be honest with you, we're in summer right now, and we really need to celebrate the season of hotness with Gravity Falls. And the fact that I actually found this episode a really entertaining one. The gang go to Gravity Falls pool while Mabel is in love with a man who turns out to be a merman. Dipper wants to spend time with Wendy by becoming the assistant lifeguard, while Grego Stan wants to have the perfect spot by the pool, but Gideon has that spot, which leads to him trying to figure out ways to get to that spot before Gideon does, which also led to a point where he had to relax during the night for so many hours for the sake of keeping that spot from Gideon. I don't have much to say about this plot, but all I can say is, I think it really shows that Grunko Stan and the actor playing him is literally a natural treasure. Before I realized how important it was, but when I got the chance to watch the show back in 2021. That decade of not watching this show is probably a big mistake on my part for not realizing that Grunko Stan is a natural treasure. With this episode focusing on Mabel, I'm gonna be really honest with you. After rewatching the episodes from this show, even if I need to finish the final episodes of Season 2, I have to admit that Mabel has grew on me ever since I rewatch these episodes. And when it comes to this episode, considering that it's mostly hypocritical of her of calling out Dipper being in love and she ends up doing the same thing, at the same time, Mabel and Dipper are 12 years old. So it's really natural for them to bicker at each other, and knowing full well that they ended up doing something that they're mostly against. It really shows the development between the two as the series progressed. And believe me when I say this, even if I did not watch the final episodes of Season 2, I know full well that there's a moment between these two, and I'm looking forward to it once I see it for the first time. Anyway, Mermando, who is the merman who reveals to be a merman in front of Mabel, even though that he only appears once in this, I think it really shows on to why that if the show ended up having more seasons, he will return, and I'm pretty sure that the episode that could happen would have been bad. I need to be really honest with you, as much as I didn't like that The Arrow has had 2 full seasons, with the 3rd season having 3 44-minute episodes, with the final being 55 minutes. I honestly felt like that the execution of 2 seasons of Gravity Falls really worked out, considering that there was actual care in those 2 seasons. Mermando being in the position where he's in the pool and he can't be able to escape no matter what due to comedic effects, I have to admit, if I was in that fishing tail or have that as my fishing tail rather than legs, then I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to enjoy life of being in the pool for literally forever. And to be real with you, the fact that Mabel is doing anything, and I mean anything, in order to save Mermando's life by having him swim in the lake, or which is connected to basically the ocean of everywhere, then that's literally the only way for Mermando to be able to enjoy life outside of the pool. Especially since that life is, well, he wasn't forced to left behind. He didn't force to abandon his family due to the position that he got in. In all honesty, with one of these episodes of having realness in Gravity Falls, with this episode focusing on Momondo just trying to get back to his family with the assistance of Mabel, that kiss is well deserved. Definitely well deserved. I will continue on when it comes to the climax, but I'm gonna be saving that once we finish up the Dippo subplot in this. Like I said earlier, Dippo needs to be assistant lifeguards in order to hang out with Wendy, but her boss is really aggressive. To the point that Dippo is literally scared in order to do something correct in his eyes, otherwise he will instantly get fired. When I first talked about the inconvenience back in February of 2022, that is when I officially watched 5 episodes. So when it came to looking at this episode back then, all the while watching the other episodes afterwards, especially the episodes where Wendy and Dippo confessed, since they're not going to be in a romantic relationship, I'm gonna be really honest with you. Looking back on these episodes, Dippo was easily desperate in order to do anything. Mainly the fact that he views Wendy as basically a one of a kind up until later on in season 2. Well, let's just say there was a lot going on that instantly made me understand onto why that this show never had further seasons after season 2. My point is that after witnessing multiple episodes, especially that episode from season 2, I guess it goes to show that Wendy is the type of person that enjoys anything that happens, and she is different from any other female character in any other show. Though then again, most females like her are mostly into being cool and also having limits when it comes to emotions. As for Dippo being a lifeguard assistant, I'm gonna be really honest, the fact that he's doing everything in his power in the same fashion as the episodes previous, I guess it really shows that Dippo has some flaws when it comes to him being in the position of being obsessed with Wendy, all the while that Mabel is being obsessed with a merman. And with this leading to a go-kart or a car chase during the climax, it really shows that Mabel literally cares about saving a merman's life, all the while that Dippo is literally doing everything to impress Wendy by taking his job as a lifeguard assistant seriously. If I'm gonna be really honest with you, this episode, along with others, shows the development of Mabel and Dippo justice. Especially the bit where Dippo uses water in his mouth to pour it inside of the merman. He really hates this, and you can relate to him, but also relate to Mabel for trying to save a merman's life. And I know I mispronounced Momondo instead of Momondo, but then again, considering that Dippo barely cares about him as the series progressed, it's either for the best or maybe for the worst for people who actually ship Mabel and Momondo. But then again, it could be a bad thing, but who knows. Like I said before, I understand that seasonal want is something that Gravity Falls prevented, but considering that there are other possibilities, with time and effort, they would have worked it out, but who knows. In all honesty, this episode isn't one of my favorites, but when it comes to summer activity, you would enjoy this episode during the season of the hot boiling sun. Granted, I understand that this episode has nothing to do with beaches, but let me tell you, this is literally the only way for me to get back to the show after not talking about it since February of 2022. I guess when it comes to me getting back to the show when it comes to reviews, I'm planning on reviewing the Halloween episode Summerween in October, and when it comes to Dippo's relationship with Wendy, I'm gonna be really honest with you, I'm gonna be doing something a lot more considering that Dippo has encountered more goals as the series progressed. I'm not gonna do it later down the line in Summer Palooza 4 Beach Paradise, but I'm not gonna be saving it for Valentine's Half Month 6 if there is going to be one next year. I'm probably gonna be doing it either in September or November when it comes to uploads, but believe me when I say this, you'll be highly interested once I reveal some of the details. I'm giving this episode a 7 out of 10.